We usually think of science as a source of wonder and progress, but sometimes it uncovers truths that are, well, they're genuinely terrifying. Today, we're going to look at some of those facts, the kind that might just keep you up at night. So get comfortable, but maybe don't turn off the lights just yet.
So we're not going to ease into this at all. Let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of it. That final, awful moment. What's actually going on in there?
Okay, here's the grim reality. For a few seconds, and a few seconds is a terrifyingly long time in this case, the brain keeps running. It's still got some oxygenated blood, and that's all it needs for a brief, horrific window of consciousness, long enough to potentially process the impossible, seeing your own body without you. It's a truly chilling thought, isn't it?
So from that, let's bring our focus a little closer to home. Actually, way closer. The next threats we're going to talk about are already inside you. Your body isn't just you. It's a battlefield you were born into. This is just wild. If you were to count up all the cells that make up you, you'd find that you are outnumbered. More than half of them aren't human at all. They're bacteria, fungi, viruses, the whole shebang. And sure, most of the time they're helpful, but it's a very delicate balance. A balance that, when it gets upset, can turn your body's tenants into your worst enemies.
And speaking of unwanted tenants, meet Toxoplasma gondii. Right now, about a third of all people on Earth have this parasite living in their brain. Billions of us. For a long time, we thought it was mostly harmless. But now studies are starting to suggest a really disturbing link between this infection and real changes in our behavior. Things like increased anger and aggression.
All right, then there are prions. These aren't like viruses or bacteria. They're not invaders. They're you. They're your own proteins gone rogue. All it takes is for one single protein to fold the wrong way. Once that happens, it's like a domino effect. It bumps into the next protein, which then misfolds, and so on and so on. It's a slow, unstoppable chain reaction that literally eats away at the brain. And the scariest part? We have absolutely no way to stop it.
Now this is just bizarre. Your eyes exist in a state of what's called immune privilege. Basically, your immune system, your body's security force, has no idea your eyes even exist. They're not on the list of self. So if you were to have a bad injury and your immune system discovered them, it would see them as a foreign threat and attack, trying to destroy them. It's the strange, fragile truce happening inside your own head.
What's truly terrifying about some of the diseases we fear most is that the battle is over long before you even know there's a fight. The damage can build up silently, quietly, for decades. By the time the first real symptom shows up, say a forgotten memory, the disease isn't just starting, it's already in its final, irreversible stages.
Okay, let's pull back from the microscopic and look at the world around us. Because our planet is home to some dangers that are as clever as they are terrifying, and a lot of them are hiding in plain sight.
Sometimes a name just tells you everything you need to know, right? Well, this is one of those times. It's called the tongue-eating louse. No prizes for guessing what it does.
Nature is just something else. This creature's life cycle is pure nightmare fuel. It finds a fish, latches onto its tongue, and severs the blood vessels. The tongue withers and falls off, but it doesn't stop there. The louse then attaches itself to the stub and just becomes the new tongue. The fish goes on living its life using this parasite as a fully functional organ, probably with no idea what just happened.
This next one is scary because of how wrong we all are about it. On TV, CPR is basically a miracle. Somebody's down, a few chest compressions, and they're awake and talking. In real life, though, the chances of it actually working outside of a hospital are, well, they're shockingly low. Less than 10%. It's an absolute last-ditch effort, not the reset button we see in movies.
Okay, let's go from a human-sized threat to a planetary one. Right under Yellowstone National Park, there's a massive supervolcano. And if you look at its history, it seems to erupt on a pretty regular cycle, every 600 to 700,000 years or so. So, the last one was about 650,000 years ago, which means right now, we're overdue. An eruption like that would plunge the entire world into a volcanic winter, changing life as we know it. This is just terrifying physics. The way we stay cool is by sweating. The sweat evaporates, and that cools us down. Simple. But what happens when the air is already completely full of water? 100% humidity? Well, your sweat can't evaporate anymore. Your body's cooling system just stops working. At that point, a temperature that seems survivable, like 95 degrees Fahrenheit, becomes deadly in just a few hours. And yeah, these so-called wet bulb events are expected to become way more common.
So now let's zoom out, way out, because the scariest things on Earth can be, they don't even compare to the sheer cosmic indifference of space. The universe isn't out to get you. The scary part is, it doesn't care about you at all.
Get this, our entire galaxy, the Milky Way, plus thousands of other nearby galaxies, we are all hurtling through space at 2 million kilometers per hour. We're being pulled by something, a massive gravitational anomaly called the Great Attractor. And the weirdest part? We can't even see it. It's hidden behind the dust and stars of our own galaxy. We're on a journey to a destination we know nothing about.
Think of the biggest, most violent explosion you can imagine, a supernova. Now imagine something that makes a supernova look like a tiny firecracker. That's a gamma ray burst. If one of these happened anywhere near us and it was pointed our way, it would be over. It would strip our atmosphere and sterilize the surface of the planet instantly. And because it travels at the speed of light, we'd have zero warning. Game over.
So, you know the big question? With all the stars out there, why is space so quiet? Where is everybody? Well, the dark forest hypothesis has a pretty chilling answer for that. The idea is that the universe is like a huge dark forest. It's full of silent hunters, and everyone knows the first rule of survival: stay hidden. Because to make a sound, to reveal your location, is to invite your own destruction from someone older and stronger. So the silence we hear, it isn't emptiness, it's fear.
So after all that, the horrors inside us, on our planet, and in the cosmos, we land at the last category, and maybe the scariest one: the threats that we are creating ourselves.
Technology like genetic engineering could solve some of our biggest problems, but it's a massive double-edged sword. As the tech gets cheaper and easier to use, the power to literally rewrite the code of life gets into more and more hands. And that brings up a truly terrifying possibility. Someone, somewhere, engineering a custom-made plague. A virus designed to be as contagious and as deadly as possible.
This one is a classic thought experiment from nanotechnology, and it's a real doozy. Imagine tiny microscopic robots, nanobots, with one simple instruction: find matter and use it to build more of yourself. If even one of these things got loose, it would start converting everything around it, dirt, water, us, into more nanobots. It's an exponential technological plague that wouldn't stop until the entire planet was just a churning mass of gray goo. This might be the most ultimate existential threat there is. It's called vacuum decay. The theory goes that our universe might not actually be stable. It's possible that somewhere, at any second, a bubble of a more stable, true vacuum could appear. And if it does, it will expand at the speed of light in all directions. And inside that bubble, the fundamental laws of physics will be different. Everything it touches, you, me, the Earth, the Sun, would just instantly cease to be.
And that kind of leaves us here with this really unsettling final thought. We worry about volcanoes and parasites, but what if the very rules of reality aren't set in stone? What if the most basic things we rely on, the laws of physics, are fragile? If that's true, then what is there really to keep us safe? That's a hard one to shake, isn't it?